Hi, Redesert Boy here. Just thought I'd check in. We get into summer sometimes, kind of getting towards the later part of the summer. Just haven't made any videos, recently. Been kind of on a little hiatus from going out and going to target practice and things like that. So, like most of us, I have times when I have to take care of some personal concerns, as far as health and things like that, and we just all love going to doctors. But anyway, things are going okay. Just wanted to let you know, probably a little bit before I make a couple more videos, probably another couple weeks or so. What kind of things have I been looking at? I have been going out and from time to time, looking at things in the stores, things I'm kind of interested in. A couple things that kind of interest me, when I'm thinking about what do I need as far as personally. Once again, that comes back to the whole thing. Things that I'm sharing are my thoughts and my opinions and what works best for me. Everybody, when you're trying to figure out what works best for you, whether it's should I have a revolver, should I have a semi-auto, should I have a compact, should I have a full size? You need to think about what works best for you. What works best as far as, what's your grip size and things like that, how comfortable it is for you. It has to be something you want to, spend adequate time going to the range because you want to be proficient with it. Cost oftentimes is an element. That's true for me too. Although, I have some SIGs and things, that's a more expensive investment. Sometimes there's things like the Ruger Wrangler, that's a more cost-effective investment for what I'm doing. So you need to really kind of balance those things out for what works best for you. So some of the things I've noticed that I've been looking at, I think about things like, it might be nice, like I had the 357 38 Henry carbine, so that kind of matches up with the pistol caliber. With the 357, like I had the 357 Ruger, some of you probably seen in the videos. So another match for carbine, type of style of longer gun, might be something like the Ruger PC carbine, which I've been kind of looking at and thinking about because that would match up with the 9s that I have, and I like kind of having that option available where you have a longer gun, maybe for home defense or personal defense, along with whatever your sidearm is. And so I think that's a good option. Also, you might want to think about, do I want to get something that I could change from, revolver caliber, or excuse me, from more traditional revolver caliber to a more traditional semi-auto caliber. For example, I was looking at one. Taurus has a gun. I think it's a 682. I'd have to look it up, but it actually is set up where the cylinders slide off, and it's not normally. That's in a single action revolver, more cowboy action shooting kind of style, where you can change from a 357 38 to a 9. But this is actually a double action revolver, and it comes in a longer barrel. And it also comes in a shorter, I think it's like maybe a 2.5 or 2-inch barrel. But it actually, it has a button on the other side that from where your cylinder latch is to release the whole cylinder, so you can slide off the 9 cylinder and put the 38 357 cylinder on. And it's a double action, single action, more like regular double action, single action revolvers. So you have to think about it. That'd be useful to me because then I could still use it as a revolver for 9 ammo, and I could still use it for 38 357. And it's also a more cost-effective gun maybe than buying an S&W and a Ruger in many cases. So it really comes down to what your needs are. One gun I've been looking at for a while, it originally had the designation model number 5032. I think it's now 5050. It's a Ruger, which is a Red Hawk that is in 45 Colt and 45 Auto. 45 Auto, it uses a type of moon clip, and so that gives you versatility to have both a kind of a more like a hunting caliber revolver, you know, because 45 Colts you can load in a variety of ways. Of course, they're more expensive unless you do hand reloading. Or if you want to use your 45 auto, you know, to go to the range, it's a little cheaper, just like it would be with 9, you know, using a revolver. So if that's something you're interested in revolvers, where you want versatility with semi-automatic ammo, something to think about. I learned, for example, there is one or two manufacturers, I think Taurus might be one, or Charter Arms, where they make 380 revolvers for people that maybe don't want to do 380s. But then you got 380 semi-autos like the Smith & Wesson 380, which is the EZ, which the slide, you know, pulling the slide is much easier, and the magazine feed has a little slot on the side like their 22s, where it helps you know, not have to use a Uplula or other magazine loader. So once again, it comes down to all those different things. If you're in a situation where maybe for home defense, you know, you want to make sure you don't have any over penetration, then maybe a carbine that uses more of a pistol caliber shell might be right for you, but you have to do the research and figure out whether that's better, other than having a rifle caliber or a more high velocity caliber, as would be in most of your ARs or other semi-automatic type rifles. So just some things just to make you think about, you know, what do I really want to do with these things? Is it for home defense? Is it for personal defense? Is it for concealed carry? Does it fit in with the laws and everything of my local, state, and federal authorities for what I want to do? You know, and what's the general purpose of it? How does it fit into your overall portfolio? For me, when I started getting back into firearms, what I really looked at was, you know, first of all, having a handgun to start out with. As I mentioned before, I started with a revolver because that's what I was familiar with. Then I went to semi-autos. I went to a 1911, which is maybe not as easy of a choice for some people than others, but it was a traditional one that I'd always was interested in. And then I kind of went in the direction of other semi-autos that are double action, single action, because the ones that I liked had hammers like SIGs and more like a Beretta or SIG style firearm. You may think that I don't like striker type firearms. I just say that it's not something that I generally have has been my passion, I guess, when it comes to handguns. I have had, you know, one of the first extensive trainings I went to, 4 days for, you know, handgun course and things like that, was with a Glock Model 19 that I was able to borrow and be able to learn how to use that. So it was much easier than probably using my 1911, where I would have had to remember the safety, and also the capacity would have been lower and everything else. So once again, what's the purpose? What are you trying to do with things as far as what you want to do? Is it just for training? Is it just for the range? Are you going to do hunting with it? All those different things come into play. One Glock I have been looking at recently is this new Model 45, particularly because they have one that has what they call MOS, which I think is like modular optic system. So you can put like a red dot type thing on it as a different sight. So it just depends on what you're going to do with it in the long run. I thought about putting a red dot on one of my lever actions, so I'm looking at exploring that. You can get Picatinny type rails and red dots or scopes that can go on there that way, as opposed to the traditional scope mounts, even for lever action in most cases. So I am also looking at getting a hunting rifle again, just so, you know, I can work on getting ready. Maybe by next year I'll be ready and I could go hunting. For me, it's 270 is the caliber that I like. A lot of people would rather have, you know, a 30-06 or a 308. Just depends on what you need. So once again, just put some thought into it. You know, make sure you're following all the rules you need to. Make sure you get all the training you need to. Make sure if you're going to go hunt, you get your hunter safety requirements out of the way. Make sure if you're going to, have a handgun that you want to hunt with, that you're following the rules for that, or whatever the calibers are and the rules are for your long guns. But once again, I hope to get some more videos out soon with some different firearms, but for right now I got to kind of take it easy, and I just thank everybody that's been watching. I hope the videos have been useful from my viewpoint as being a hobbyist and just an enthusiast. And once again, always get all the expert opinion and training and certification that you need, or talk to the manufacturers, whether it's ammunition or your firearms, just to make sure that any questions you have get fully answered and that you're getting all the right information. So have a great week. Hope things continue to go well for you for the rest of the summer. And we'll be moving towards fall, and for a lot of us it may be football. Some people may be looking forward to the World Series. Everybody's got different things going on. So have a great day and be safe out there. It's Ree Desert Boy. Like and subscribe, and thank you for watching, and for any comments that you leave. They're very helpful for me. Bye now.